Hello, and welcome to Revamped, a rewatch podcast covering my all-time favorite shows and movies. I'm your host, Brandon Alexander.
And I'm your co-host, Courtney Autumn.
Together, we've been journeying through Buffy the Vampire Slayer, patrolling the streets of Sunnydale, but now our path expands beyond the Hellmouth as we continue to follow Buffy's battles and growth.
We also step into the shadowy streets of Los Angeles to join Angel on his quest for redemption and his fight to discover what it truly means to be a champion.
Venture with us through every episode in order as we experience the story from two perspectives, Courtney's first time watch and my seasoned rewatch, doubling down on the themes and moments that shape the Buffyverse.
We'll examine pivotal choices, major story arcs, and explore the deeper layers of each show's continued character growth and development.
All while engaging in conversations and sharing our own authentic thoughts and feelings to what's unfolding before us.
So sharpen your stakes, ready your swords,
and continue to stand with us against the forces of darkness as we journey through the supernatural worlds of Buffy the Vampire Slayer
and Angel.
Let's get into this episode.
Fair enough.
But seriously, because this one's awful.
Yes, the worst one so far.
Literally.
Y'all had me thinking Cordelia was pregnant with freaking... Now I don't forgot his name already. Yes, thank you. Got a whole brain fart at the wrong time.
I am recording, by the way.
Oh, lovely. Put that in the bloops.
Nope, it's the actual. This is the opener to the episode. So, hello, everyone, and welcome to this chaotic episode of Revamped, and also equally as chaotic and disgusting episode of Angel. With that being said, today we're here to cover Season 1, Episode 12.
Expecting. Ew.
We're expecting lots of ew. And this episode was expecting to get this reaction on January 25th of 2000 originally. It was written by Howard Gordon and directed by David Semel. In this episode, just as Cordelia begins to believe she's finally found a genuine connection in Los Angeles, a seemingly perfect date leaves her facing a terrifying and impossible pregnancy. With Cordelia's life hanging in the balance, Angel and Wesley must unravel an unsettling mystery before the nightmare reaches its devastating conclusion. AKA, she gonna get ripped up and dead.
For real, I was concerned.
Or worse, so concerned. Right now, we're going to be concerned, though, about the guest stars for this episode. We have Daphne Duplay. I think that's how you say her name. It's got an X at the end of it, so I'm going to say Duplay. She's French. As Serena. And Ken Marino is portraying Wilson this episode, a.k.a. the guy we hate more than anything. Just here, though, because I liked him over on Charmed. He was in the Season 5 episode, and he played, like, Phoebe's boyfriend. He was a sweet guy that just kept dying, and she kept having to, like, repeat the same, like, she kept trying to save him, and he kept dying different ways because he was just meant to die, like it was fate. You know what I mean? But it was a great episode, just to say. But I liked him way more over on Charmed than I ever want to witness him on Angel again. Actually, I love him in this episode because he's getting a fist to the face every 5 seconds.
Literally.
Angel. He's so deceiving too. Watching it for the first time, you're like, oh, this is sweet. He seems like a good guy. He seems so great, like at the dinner, you know, or like hanging out at the club, whatever the fuck they're doing. It ain't the oblique. So he ain't coming in with that one liner about, don't you just hate coming to places like this? He goes, don't you just love being impregnated by demon spawn and almost dying so I can have lots of fucking money? Speaking of, does this episode basically not remind you of a regurgitation, reinterpretation of Buffy Season 2 Reptile Boy with the damn frat boys giving girls to Makita, the demon snake in the basement? This is exactly what that is. I say it again later, but I'm just going to say it right now that episode was fucking disgusting for what they were doing to women. This one's even more disgusting with what they were doing to women. Agreed. And I have thoughts, obviously, but what were yours? What did you think of the episode? Besides your favorite part, Cordelia drinking the blood, that you sent me a screenshot of your TV watching it, and you're like, yum.
I was about to text you weekly wigs, like with a picture of Cordelia drinking the blood, but then I looked at my notes and I realized I already have like 3 weekly wigs at this point, and then I added some more. Basically the whole episode became the weekly wigs, so
we can skip that area because that was the same for me. I was like, well, this is a wigs, this is a wigs, this is a wigs, this is a wigs. Like I have the WIGS. Actually I have the full on WIGGINS. Like
basically just from the start of the episode, every 3.5 minutes or so is a weekly wigs.
Every 3.5 minutes, I was like, I'm turning off my TV.
You're like, we're just gonna skip this episode and not cover it at all, and we'll just pretend like we
Well,
don't
like
know.
I said, sorry guys that this episode's only 32 minutes. We don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. It's just gonna turn into us talking about anything other than the episode.
Yeah, cool. So what'd you eat today?
But first I was expecting Cordelia to somehow be impregnated with Doyle's baby. So I'm
She said, I was expecting.
no pun
We're
intended.
expecting this episode.
However, I started to be relieved initially that wasn't the case until we started realizing what was growing inside of Cordelia, because I wasn't really sure what was going on after a certain point, but I knew that it wasn't Doyle's, and I knew that it was really bad, and she was probably going to die if her pregnancy met its natural end. So I'm not as relieved as I thought I would be that it's not Doyle's baby. I feel like that would have been the better outcome. But it was a really interesting episode, and also terrifying, because it just made me so aware of, like, even as a mom and having gone through pregnancy, I think the speed behind everything happening to Cordelia really makes you aware of, like, how the woman enduring the pregnancy is so not in control of anything that's going to happen to her body because of the pregnancy. You know what I mean? And that's like real life. Like, women die all the time giving birth,
Yeah.
and like just stuff like that, where you can get sick and all these things can happen that are just related to pregnancy. And I felt so much of that when I was watching this episode that I wasn't aware of. I think I was like too young, because I was in my early 20s when I got pregnant. But yeah, it was just it was a crazy journey to like kind of emotionally go through, because I was like, wow, I never really put that into perspective, how like vulnerable we become to our own bodies when we're pregnant, because we're creating life, with our body. It's an insane process, even really considered. Should not be allowed. But it was interesting to see Cordelia pregnant, so that was something. And I, more than anything, was not anticipating loving Wesley as much as I did this episode, but he really provided a lot of like the comedic relief and the moments where you could just breathe for a second and stuff like that. So he really became like a great character for this episode. And in general, I don't really have a problem with Wesley, but I feel like he's really going to start kind of, I don't know. I like him right now.
Yeah, I like Wesley a lot. Like, that's what I'm saying, like, about him whenever we had Stacy on. Like, I love him as a character. He just provides so much. And it only continues to grow. And just like this show tends to do with its characters too, their development is far, like, if you weren't expecting this in this episode, like, I'm sure half the stuff that could go on with Wesley you could never expect. You know what I mean? Because like these shows tend to have a turnout that it's not always so favorable in the character's eye, you know what I mean, or in our eyes for the character. And not to say that like anything bad happens to Wesley, or you know what I mean, like it can start out one way and end up on another path. Whereas like other areas, like Willow's a blossoming, awesome, amazing witch at this point, and we've seen her pathway unfold from like the Sears girl in the first episode that's wearing cheesy ass boring outfits and getting picked on.
I mean, even
is just not that
even
anymore.
Giles is a good example too. He's not anything like he's not even doing the job that he did when we met him. Like, he's kind of evolved into a space that you would not have expected him to be at, like not being a librarian and not being so actively involved in their day-to-day and being at the school and stuff like that. So I see what you're saying completely, but I do love that I know that we got a lot of his personality on Buffy, but I feel like it shines more on Angel, if I'm not mistaken. So he's doing a good job.
And he's still kind of that character we saw on Buffy, like get into problems, can't really, like, I wouldn't say like, well, in certain ways I'll say that, because obviously he was usually like, you think back to Bad Girls, he's like Mr. Giles whenever the guy is like the vampires are holding him up and he's getting fed. Giles is beating fucking ass around him and stuff, but he's like a whimpering, cowering kind of person. And that's something we didn't mention, and I was actually thinking about when I was listening to today's drop of Parting Gifts. I was re-listening to it since it came out, and I was like, wow, Wesley is fighting. He's putting up a fight now. He's not getting knocked out immediately. I mean, he's having a hard time. I mean, I didn't spend as much time as I could have with that episode, but like, when he's trying to tie Cordelia, he's over there struggling and like hopping around with his foot trying to get his like knife out of his
slight chaos with him.
Like, it's so cute though, but he's fighting. And then even in this episode, he's standing up and doing something, and that's something I feel like we could have maybe mentioned differently within that coverage. And we'll say now is like, Wesley being who he was over there, he could have completely turned, since being fired technically and let go from the Watchers Council, very similar to Giles. He could have went on his own way and like went and did something else, but he's still out here saying, no, this is what I was basically born to do, is fight or stand up against the forces of darkness just like everybody else. So everything that I've learned has been founded around this. So I think I'm going to continue to be this person, versus he could easily go get a job at a high school being a librarian somewhere, because he already has the mindset of being like, well, this would be easy, you know, like, or whatever, or working as a scholar somewhere, going to school,
or
and
just
getting
having
his
a normal
professor.
life.
Yeah, exactly. But he's choosing this, and he's showing up differently on this show. So I agree with you there. The first thing I wrote in my notes, I was like, episodes like this are exactly why there's the bear versus man debate.
And it's always the bear.
It's always the bear. Like, just because men are so fucking shady. Like, I'm so horribly feeling bad for Cordelia this episode. It's fucked up what all these women are going through, and I'm just kind of surprised that Joss wasn't at the forefront of writing and directing this episode, just from what we'll grow to know / do know. Those who know, you know. But it is his show, so same thing essentially. But that being said, obviously, reading into some reviews, Shangel had said in their review that this trope is cliche because every sci-fi, horror movie, or supernatural show has kind of done this bit, like the supernatural pregnancy concept.
I see.
And then they went on to remind us that in the Buffyverse, sex always seems to come with some sort of consequence, and we've seen this multiple times. I go on to say, like, Buffy x Angel, we got Angelus. Buffy and Parker, we got poor Buffy and douchebag energy. Faith and Xander, we got asphyxiation. Oz and Veruca, we got cheating and breakups. Like, the list could continue to go on. I could literally keep going. And then they went on to say, like, for the love of God, can somebody in the Buffyverse have sex without it being a negative thing? Every time basically someone's had sex, some kind of horrible outcomes come from it. And that's interesting to like conceptualize going through the show this time as a rewatch, being like, oh wow, it really is kind of the thing. Now thankfully there are some more sex positive friendly stuff like in some way, shape, or form in the future, but I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, now across all seasons and the show is like, yeah, sex doesn't really lead to good things on the series, so let's keep that in mind going forward every time someone's about to fucking have sex, you know? I'd have to kind of agree like with where they were coming at from the angle of this being kind of a cliche trope. As far as the hookup, Cordelia did consent to the sex, but she did not consent to being impregnated. You know, that was the one thing that I feel like could stand out as a good part, and then the bad part to it is just the fact that even though she was it was deceptive what was going on, you know, and all
and
were there.
nothing about their physical interaction struck me as alarming, you know, and she even invited him in, and it was even like almost a moment of, there was a couple of opportunities where like he was the one back kind of like, I'll call you tomorrow, you know what I mean? So it seems very much like she was the initiator, and like you were saying, it does suck that like, especially for Cordelia, because even when she's talking to herself, or not to herself, but to her ghost roommate in her kitchen about how like this is a guy she really likes and she's brought over, you know, and this is clearly the first guy she's brought over since living in her apartment, you get the importance of the moment, you know, and so for it to end like you're saying because they had sex and then there's this huge consequence like there tends to be in this show, or Buffy included, it's just like, yeah, that sucks, because then you almost always are left with the Angel to Angelus feeling from the very first time we see Buffy be intimate with somebody to that degree, because then you're always like, oh, is someone gonna die? Is someone gonna go on a killing spree? Is someone gonna like, you know, turn into a demon?
I feel like, and hopefully I remember that moving forward, we're just going to have in our season wrap-ups for both show the amount of like times people had sex and it had a like bad consequence to it, especially for the series rollout as far as wrap-up
We'll call
goes.
it expecting anything but babies.
Expecting problems.
Exactly.
But anyways, to continue what I was saying, I do think that the trope has been done. I'm sure by this day and time I've seen other stuff like regurgitate the same kind of information, but at the time of viewing this originally, like my very first time seeing it, I was young, so I really had never seen this trope really done before, unless it was like an alien on a sci-fi thing or something like that. But then it's like, you know, more like actually alien, like they're getting, I wouldn't call it a pregnancy, but in the movie Alien, that guy gets infected with the thing and it grows inside of him and then bursts out, and then it slowly mutates and transforms into the ultimate alien creature that we see. So it's more that version of that, but I'd never seen like somebody carry a baby that was like full of demons or things like that. You know what I mean? The most I had watched is that movie Quince on Disney Channel where somebody was actually pregnant, but it wasn't like a demonic pregnancy. So like back then I really enjoyed the episode, and even like to this day I would say that I liked it. And it's more so like watching it now for the Angel and Wesley parts and them helping Cordelia, because that's where the strength of the episode comes from, the storytelling on that bit and the character development of the group, especially it being a new core dynamic versus how it was with Doyle in it. We were just kind of saying in the beginning, it's been nice to see Wesley around and how they've kind of worked him into the story, because even in this episode he's showing up and he's like, can we go fight some demons? He's like, fight, and
He's
like Spike,
eager.
let's fight that evil, you know, like he's doing that whole thing. He's very eager to be a part of the group, which we'll talk about more because I want to save some of my comments and jokes for like the opening bit in the cold open. But I really like that dynamic between them that's growing, and the fact that Angel's care for Cordelia has just grown so much since the girl that he knew on Buffy, and the fact that they've been working side by side. He doesn't want to lose her the same way he lost Doyle too. Not that that's the same thing that's in his mind, but he cares for her also, you know, with the fact that his connection, but it goes far beyond that. To the powers that be is the connection I spoke of. This episode does also kind of cement the core dynamic moving forward, I feel like, as well. It lets you know that like, hey, Wesley's here to stick around, and I really had never noticed that before, because like I said, pretty much any other rewatch I've seen all of the story, so going back to the beginning is something that like I was like almost what I was saying to you and Stacey, like your mindset, I told you immediately like Wesley was going to be a part of the gang from now on. He's on the show, versus you sitting around episode by episode and being like, is he ever going to leave? You know, he's actually here to stay, and this episode really does kind of confirm that by showing how him and Wesley care for Cordelia and how like eager they are to help the situation. But watching also this day and time, I don't think I'm on board with the overall bits past that. Like we kind of already got the demonic possession this season with the parasite back in Lonely Heart and the sex kind of vibe that was going on there. I was like, so did this really have to happen to a core character? Did we really need to tell this story? Like, the writers in the room half the time probably are men, and honestly the two people that did direct and write this episode are men, so I'm just like, what are we doing here, you know? Not in a bad way, I don't mind it. I'm not trying to come down on the side of like this episode shouldn't exist, because a lot of people and podcasters have spoken in the past that this is just like outright disgusting that people have to go through this, especially on things that I can't allude to in the future on the Angel series too. And we will be sourcing this episode back out. Like, you would think this episode is so filler that we're never going to speak back to it again. We're going to directly one day more than one time call back to this episode. So like keep that in mind as that mindset, and I'll probably shut up there so I don't say anything else that I shouldn't be saying. So I don't know, I found it enjoyable. I really do like it, but I'm not going to be so eager to like watch it again in the future, if that makes sense, unless it's just like a rewatch and I have to go through it, you know?
No, I agree. I get it does what it needs to, I guess, for the episode that it's supposed to kind of be. I get what people are saying about like it being a revisited maybe trope or topic, or even like you were saying, there's been several episodes similar in nature to this. So was it necessity to kind of put this plot or storyline in there? Not really. They could have done really anything else, especially pertaining to like what I would have wanted right here is like Cordelia to have a vision, and like you said, not lose the element of working Wesley in to make it more concrete to the viewers that he's here to stay, and he's actively like working as a dynamic with Cordelia and Angel. But why did we get so far away from what it really means to be where we are, you know? Because like even though these things are happening to them and technically kind of in a way starting at Angel Investigations, you lose that. You know, you lose the point of like what they're trying to do, and you lose the point that they're even supposed to be like working together in this space, because everything's so all over the fucking place. And then you do something extreme like this, like throw pregnancy in there, that you don't even know what anything is about anymore. You're just like focused on the fact that Cordelia is suddenly 9 months pregnant overnight.
Which is horrifyingly scary. But two things I kind of want to like bring back out is like, this could have been done the same way. Maybe the impregnation happened a little differently, but it could have been maybe something on the lines of like the Alien movies I was talking about. Like they get infected by a parasite and it's going to basically, they are pregnant but not pregnant. We'll get into it in themes and metaphor, but this episode obviously has a lot of stuff that's speaking to women's autonomy being gone, the fact that their agency is completely stripped away from them and stuff. And that's, I think, the part that doesn't sit well with people. And why did it have to be a woman? Why did you have to use a woman to tell this story? You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like, why couldn't it been like a demon woman that was on the show like that? You know, if you're telling the story, not that that's any better, but like not make it like a regular human everyday woman. I don't really know how to, I don't know. I'm conceptualizing this in my head. I'm just like, there were other ways
and then there were parts of me that almost would have rather let, what's his name? The guy that did this to Cordelia, Wilson. That would have rather let Wilson be a normal guy and somehow let her friend Serena, what's her name?
Serena. Serena. It's Serena like
Serena.
Sailor Moon. Yeah.
Okay. And let Serena somehow be like the culprit of the problem, like somehow she's
Sure,
the
like she's a
one who
witch or
like caused
something.
this, but then you're thinking it's Wilson, but he actually ends up being a good guy, and it's this bitch that
He
like
was
was
under her
shady.
influence or something. Sure.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
maybe she did something before they even hooked up,
exactly. She was
like
pissy with Cordelia for
yeah.
some weird reason that we hadn't been told yet. Yeah, you could like that's interesting to think about. Like because then
Like
it
then
kind of
it would
tracks
have
back on a
changed.
woman doing something against another
Exactly,
woman
and
versus a
then it
man
would have
doing something.
changed the normal, like, debate that we have to have about this kind of stuff, which is the man versus
Exactly.
woman thing, and I'm like, it didn't even
Uh-huh.
have to be about that. You could have so easily made the culprit of the conflict either one of her friends, even the blonde one that we didn't even see that much again. It's like there's so many different things where it just shouldn't have been a man, I think, that caused the
Yeah.
problem.
And
So
to go back to my initial statement of like bear versus man, at least, going from this forward, Cordelia might be a little bit unsure in her footing towards dating men in the future, but at least she knows that she has two men that she can trust
yes,
because those are the good men that are still in the world. And it does like
right,
make that very, very known because Cordelia could walk out of this episode completely not trusting anybody anymore, even Angel and Wesley,
that's
or
true.
keeping them at arm's length in some way, shape, or form. Because most
Well,
women would probably do the exact same thing after having any kind of circumstance similar to this, especially after being completely deceived by men, which so many people and especially women have went through.
that's true. Yeah. And the good thing though is that it is a reminder that the women that have gone through stuff like this, which by a certain age is most of us, we always have men in our corner that kind of remold the idea of what a man is to a better picture, and to not what we're reading or seeing online or what we're used to experiencing. We do have the few token men that restore our faith in men, which is how Brandon's framing his own face. But like, and I'm so grateful for those men in my life. You are one of them, and I just feel like without those men in women's lives, I feel like we would just, I don't even know how the world would be. Like I do feel like there would be like a gender war at some point, because we would be like, everyone would be like, fuck each other, like y'all fuck you, and y'all be over here pointing the finger at us like fuck
Uh-huh.
y'all, and we
Yeah.
just constantly start blaming each other for all of each other's problems. And so I am grateful that that is part of the episode, because it does speak true on kind of on reality. There are those men that women have that don't make us lose faith in all of them put together based on the actions of some, kind of thing.
Is it so bad that every time like we ever say the word faith on this
You
like
think of
podcast, I
faith.
think of literal faith. Like if somebody said it out in the regular day and time, like when I'm at work or anything like that, like, oh, you gotta have some faith. Like I'm thinking, yeah, hope. Like anytime we're literally recording Buffy or Angel and somebody says faith in the sentence, I'm literally thinking 𝐿𝐴𝐴𝐴. Crazy Slayer. Wow. Okay, cool. Well, I don't really have anything else to say that we couldn't say going through it. So let's do the
Let's do
episode.
it.
All right, we're at 22 minutes. So that means we've got 10 minutes to kill it.
Let's do
I'm just kidding. We open at Angel Investigations, where Cordelia is getting ready for a night out while Angel struggles to make sense of her filing system. More like Cordelia is struggling to apply her lipstick while Angel comes in and scares the fuck out of her, and now she's going to her date looking like the fucking Joker.
You want to know how I got these scars?
Like, that shit kills me. Like, just because of the commentary over the filing system, and obviously we're going to get into that more in just a second, but I'm like, Cordelia, like, how do you have a job? You're so lucky this is Angel dealing with you. But I think it's so funny too, like there's no mirror, so she's over here doing her makeup in the reflection of the window because clearly there's no reason to have that. But you would have think that she would have brought one here, like at some point, or had a compact, like she's a girl,
something.
she has a purse, like for you to use, or Wesley or somebody. Like if you have you obviously have an employee bathroom here, put a mirror in there, even though Angel can't see himself in it. It doesn't fucking matter.
Well, that's my
You
whole
want to be able to see
thing.
yourself.
Like, when did the mirror thing become the equivalent to sunlight? Because I'm like, they act like not having one will hurt, or like having one will hurt Angel. And I'm like, he just can't see. It's not going to kill him. Like, why don't you just get some anyway? and
That's
hang
what
it
I'm
on the
saying.
wall.
And also, why is Cordelia
Put it
here
on-
right now, kind of getting ready? Was she getting off a work shift? She changed here. Why couldn't she go home and get picked up by the girls there? It's because these people need to meet Angel and Wesley and all the things that are happening. I'm just like, this is so wild. But I do like the little bit that we get. We get it 2 times this episode with the whole reflection, and you can't see vampires and mirrors and items like that, because you get it at the club later with the bartender and stuff too. And I like Cordy's comment where she's like, can't you just like hum or something? Like whenever you're coming into Angel's like, I don't like the hum.
I'm surprised she wasn't like, I'm gonna put a bell on you.
Something. Angel continues to argue why Cordy is not using a filing system the absolute logical way in the form of alphabetical ordered names, and Wesley arrives hoping for an exciting night of demon hunting, armed with a new Bavarian fighting axe and eager to be useful. I love how you called him eager earlier, and that's literally in my verbiage. I laughed whenever he's like talking about Parakissas Cordelia has had a vision. Parakissas, you need my help in that battle against evil. Like, obviously he says perhaps. We know at this point that Parakissas is Spanish for perhaps. Parakissas. Go watch Disturbia. You guys will cover it one day, as mentioned long time ago, season 1 of Buffy. But I was like, okay, Wesley. I was like, is giving Cordelia trying to make Doyle have visions. She's like, can I hit you over the head, make you have a vision? Like, he's in here, like, obviously her version of it is so they can make money. He just wants something to do and fight evil. So he's like, perhaps Cordelia's had a vision. I'm like, Wesley, calm down. Like, he's just talking about. He's like, I was just in the neighborhood, and I'm like, no, you
Like,
walked
no, you
over
were
here.
not.
You literally came straight here. You were not just down the street like having a fucking froyo. No.
As soon as he got that axe, he came over here.
Literally, though. He went to buy it so that way he can entice him. He's like, look, Angel, you could play with my new toy. The current status of Evil, Free, and 3D puzzle convo is cut short when Cordelia's friends Serena and Emily arrive to pick her up for a night at 𝐿ahably. And since she's asked, Cordelia, yes, you look amazing. I can't take my eyes off you either. However, I don't plan to impregnate you with a demon spawn, mostly because I'm gay. But if I ever have a kid, I still intend on telling someone they are carrying my demon spawn just to say, because, you know, just not literally. This stuff I just write. This is what my head thinks as I'm watching the episode, so I'm just reading it as it came out. So Cordy is supposed to meet up with a guy the girls are trying to set her up with, Wilson Christopher. No, not the ethno-archaeologist from Brandeis, the successful fashion photographer known by everyone in LA but Wesley and Angel, apparently. Because they're like, who's that? And the girls are like, clearly. I'm like, oh, clearly. You're about to get pregnant and fucking almost die, bitches. Like, the fuck? Angel is surprised to learn Cordelia has been seeing someone and teases her for keeping it a secret. Before she can respond, however, a vision suddenly strikes. Love this moment too, because Serena makes indirectly direct comments to Wesley, and her friend is totally hot for Angel. Cordelia is like done collapsed behind the desk, and it forces them to awkwardly kind of distract her and start like fidgeting with papers and stuff and trying to like cover up that she's down there like making noises or doing whatever. Like, obviously she's getting her images from the PTB, and like somewhere along the conversation, those two come off as gay men to the girls, because the way Wesley drapes his arm, I don't remember exactly what he says, but he puts his arm around Angel, and they're like, the good ones are always gay, and you see Angel's face just go like, the fuck, like, what did they just say? And Wesley's just like, like, you can tell they think about it way more than they do, and you wouldn't expect it to get brought back up again later either.
I love it though.
Okay. Cordelia clearly manages to describe the new client Angel, and to his excitement, Wesley will now be meeting tonight, aka her vision, in the form of a newly hatching demon baby of sorts, and scribbles down the address before heading out with the girls. Nice cover up though. This is the way you do it. You don't be like, oh, let's all play charades right now. Like, you know, like, Cordelia, are you okay? Like, your blood pressure drop again? Do we need to give you your blood pressure pills? Like, anything. I'm just like, so glad that Cordelia pulled herself back together too. But I would have assumed that after having one of these mind-cracking, head-splitting fucking bullshit visions they're always talking about, she would have been like, I'm not going out anymore. I'm going to head on home. I actually don't feel good. Like, obviously, clearly, I just fell on the floor. Like, I didn't just drop my lipstick or something.
Obviously, clearly, I would just, I don't know. The way that she's described them before is like almost near death. So the fact that she's recuperated, recuperated enough to like write all this information down for Angel and then walk out the door and continue on her night as if life is normal is like, kudos to you.
Can we just say, for the reality of things though, had me and you been standing in there, we're not easily decepted in that way, and clearly these girls are superficial, so they're like totally paying attention to what these guys are doing and like played around a bit. But me and you would have been like, what's going on over there with her? She done dropped back behind that desk. Like, I would have walked right around there and been like, hold on. And I don't stay in one place for very long because I can't sit still. It's the ADD. So I would have been around that corner and been like, girl, what you over? Cordelia has seizures? Like,
I would have been like,
something.
is she down there eating snacks?
You were not going down. You were not. No, we just found out she's epileptic. You can go stay home tonight. We're gonna drop you off at home. I'll start dating Wilson. I about said Westland. Anyways, the bit though, whenever obviously like they leave and stuff before Angel and Wesley head out, Wesley's like trying to get his axe because he was talking to the girls. He got nervous and like embedded it into the wall, and he's trying to pull it out as Angel's left the building, and Angel's standing outside the window looking at him, and Wesley's like pulling it out, and he falls into the floor, and Angel's like, "This is what I'm like replaced with Doyle. Like, Cordelia can't help me tonight. Now we got to go fight this thing, and this is the."
He's like, now I got to babysit at the same
He's
time.
like, now I've got to, like, if anything, this is a faulty rogue demon hunter. It's not a fully functioning. Shit.
A liability at best.
They track down the creature only to discover Cordelia's accidentally sent them to the wrong home as well. And after a brief misunderstanding involving a very confused elderly couple held at crossbow point by Wesley.
Demons spawn! Cowards! Don't make me thrash it out of you. Where do you lay your eggs? In the cellar?
Wesley. In the bedroom? Yeah, that's right. Termites lay their eggs anywhere, such as next door.
Angel spots the demon hatching through the window across the street of the neighboring home, and as they move toward a fight with it, we fade to black and cue the Angel theme. Cordelia's pregnant and men are shit fuck backs. Sorry, not yet, but basically that's the whole episode.
I like that one. That was my favorite.
And scene, we're done. All right, final space. The whole conversation too, because obviously I'm not putting the dialogue in the same way. Like they end up talking about termites and shit like that. Like the fact that Cordelia sent them to the wrong address too. Like I wonder how she got the address in her head. And she's just like, this is kind of the location. But the fact that they kicked down these poor old people's door and they just in there trying to like watch The Price is Right after having their chill ass smoke sesh probably, because this is literally me and you when we're 70, and it's just so
with the same exact response. None
at all, just staring, because like I said, stoned. But like this is where you first get the bit of like Wesley being too fucking funny, just because of the comical goofy shit that he's always putting on. And like he's like, you tell us where is it perhaps in the basement, blah blah blah, all the things he's saying. Like I don't remember like fully on the dialogue and stuff, but then Angel's like, well, those termites might be next door, Wesley, and he's like nudging his head over like they're over there. I'm just like, okay. Jokes aside, like obviously about them, I'm curious, and it's never really told to us, and I'm curious if it's just like a foreshadow thing to let us know kind of like what's happening in the episode, because Cordelia even says some baby birth is happening with demons, like they're hatching. That's where we're sending you on this mission. I'm like, was this a separate entity, demonic energy happening in the night, like, which I think is actually the bit to kind of let us know like what we would be dealing with this episode without actually dealing with it. I was like, or was this one of the other women that Wilson and them have done this to, and they were that was one of the helix, whatever the fucking damn holics with. I don't remember the demon name, but we'll know it whenever I get to it later. But like, was this the same thing? Is this what was going to happen to Cordelia and them later on? You know, like I don't know, because I feel like if they had went in there, obviously they went in there and slayed that demon thing that hatched, but I don't know what it came out of, because clearly they would have seen it came out of a woman if it was that, and then they would have been like more on board. So I don't think it was. I think, like I said, it was just to kind of let us know what was going on. But just to speak to like what's happening in the episode, the fact that they impregnate them and then like wait for them to hatch, and then like they make a comment later that's like, if the woman survives, and then if she does, she wish she hadn't type thing. And I was like, oh my god, it reminds me of those wasps that will go in like spider dens and they'll paralyze it and then they'll lay its eggs in the live body only for them to hatch within it and then eat the spider's body while it's still alive, because it's like just created there so that they stay warm, so they can actually, like, you know what I mean? And like the spiders typically still either in a paralysis, or by the time the eggs are inside of it, or the live larva, whatever the fuck happens in there, like the spider is like moving around, like living its life, and then only at some point for them things to grow inside of it and then just eat it from the inside out. That's what it kind of reminds me of, because that's what's awful. Horrifying about what would happen to Cordelia this episode is the fact that these things would hatch from her belly would rip open from all 7 of these things, and nothing would be left behind. And if so, the things start eating her, like I was just saying about the spider, you know, in this situation. I'm just like, yikes. No, terrifying. Coming back in, the fight is closing up, leaving both men covered in slime and demon gore, but successful. I like how we view all this from the outside of the home too. You don't get to see the fight going inside. You like see the green squirts of the
You
blood
don't
or
have
whatever
to. It's
on the
disgusting either
window.
way.
It moves by the wall and like a punch fist, like or like the demon's head or something, like smashes into it and actually makes a 3-dimensional indentation on it.
Mhm.
And then Wesley gets thrown through the door, and I'm like, hell fucking yeah, because go Wesley. He gets up with his little axe and goes right back inside. Normally we'd expect Wesley to be unconscious at this point like Giles, or possibly running off, you know.
Poor
I was like,
Giles.
damn, look at him. I was like, he's excited. I was like, okay, well, Wesley, I guess this is the rogue demon hunter that we needed tonight. Who knows what, Angel was doing all the work inside and Wesley was just like getting thrown around.
Probably. Wesley just provided a good distraction for a second.
Must have been. On the way home, Wesley comments that Cordelia has seemed distracted lately and wonders if she's taking her responsibilities serious enough. Angel defends her, reminding Wesley that she's still adjusting to Doyle's death and her new visions. The conversation shifts when Wesley becomes convinced by Angel Cordelia's friends were interested in him, leading to a much lighter discussion as they head back into the night.
Noah's more fond of Cordelia than I. But if she wants to go gadabouting with those doxies, I think they like you. Really? I didn't mean doxy in a sexually promiscuous sense, exactly. You don't think sticking the ads on the wall put them off? That was charm. What about the fact they thought we were gay? Adds mystery.
That's where Wesley is like, what was up with them thinking we were gay or whatever? And Angel's like, I don't know, that's a mystery. Like, he just nonchalantly says it.
He said that it adds mystery.
Oh, he said that adds mystery? I thought he said that's a mystery. I didn't have my subtitles on.
He said it adds mystery because he was talking about, like, the girls being attracted to them or not. And he was like, what do you think they'd say about that? And then he brought up the gay thing. And he's like, yeah, that adds mystery, as if it's like a benefit for them to view them as gay. And I'm like, I think they just think you're gay.
For real. Going back to like the actual scene, those girls were flirting hard with both of them, and like I don't know what I don't remember if she called him Pierce Brosnan or whatever the hell she called him, like 007, whatever the case was. She basically was attracted to him in some way, shape, or form. And I was like, are you really though? But the fact that all that went over Wesley's head and he didn't even know that Angel had to present it to him here that they were interested in general.
What did she say? Did she compare him to like Hugh Jackman or something? I can't remember what she said, but it was so funny.
Sure wasn't Hugh Hefner. It was like Hugh Grant or some shit. I don't know. He basically someone that's British as an actor or something like that. Yeah. My last little bit that I have to say for the closeout of this scene, like, why the fuck did Wesley sniff the demon schmutz that he had on his cheek? Like, I literally wanted to fucking gag in my mouth and barf because he literally swipes over and first thing he goes, I'm like,
why?
Which leads me to believe in parting gifts when I was talking about having no glove on and getting the demon goo off the 𝐒𝐞𝐚𝐬𝐬 demon's blood that he was tracking. He was sniffing that every chance I get. And they didn't show it, but damn well after he found it on his shoulder whenever it was up above them, he sniffed that shit too. I'm just like, why are people always sniffing shit? Buffy's sniffing blood off the floor. I'm just like, y'all, if it's on your fingers, go wash your hands.
I'm the same way. I do not want to smell anything, even if it smells good. I just don't. It's fine. I don't need that extra. I don't need that extra.
I don't even like when I get out of the grocery store, when I finish pumping gas, because I don't have a sink in front of me to wash my hands, I immediately am grabbing my Bath and Body Works. No ad advertisement here, but I'm immediately spraying that on my hand. Anytime me and you went to the bando and I've been driving us around, what is the first thing I do when we get back from going inside the store? I'm missing your damn hand with alcohol.
Yeah,
I'm like, you ain't touching my shit in my car.
If I'm going into a bando, I take full on wet wipes out and I wash my whole body.
Oh, those are in my car too, and Clorox disinfectants too. I'm sometimes cleaning the bando.
We're just spraying Lysol as we walk through.
Something. Meanwhile, at Lounge Libre, Cordelia finds herself genuinely connecting with Wilson. Unlike many of the shallow people that she's encountered since moving to Los Angeles, Wilson seems interested in who she really is. The two spend most of the evening talking, sharing stories about their lives and insecurities, and Cordelia admits that she still feels out of place in Los Angeles and isn't always sure where she belongs. Wilson confesses that despite his success, he often feels insecure and more like an observer watching other people live their lives rather than living one of his own. It's the best way I could summarize exactly what went through, because I was like, I do not care about what they're saying, because once you know the episode, you don't want to even say anything that Wilson's saying because he's gross. But you feel so good coming away, like I was saying earlier, from this interaction with Wilson too. Yeah. Like, oh my God, Cordy is finally meeting a genuine genuine dude, right? Like, no.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't help but think, though, she just lost Doyle, too. I'm like, is this too soon to be out dating? Like, I know y'all weren't official, and it was like more like losing a friend, that because they had just revealed feelings to one another.
Yes, yeah.
So I was like more of a missed opportunity in that mindset. But I was like, is this too soon for Cordy to be getting back out there? Like, like, not that that's a crazy discussion topic, but that's what I thought when I was watching.
I had
I was
that
like,
same
why is
thought
she even
too.
going on a date? Like, it's 2 episodes since Doyle, but Doyle been gone a week and a half. She said, Doyle who? She said, I got divisions, I'm fine.
All right, she's mad at him.
Must be. Probably not. Like I said, it was like a missed opportunity. They never actually did anything to, but I feel like maybe she was still in mourning, but at the same time, she probably does want to get back out there because she is trying to meet essentially the guy that she, Mr. Handsome, like what she says in this conversation to him, like the guy wasn't waiting here for me whenever I got here. The guy that you're supposed to meet that just like has it all done and I can just show up and live my life, like what she would have expected from her old life, meeting some rich guy that's going to essentially take care of her and be hot and like do all the things appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that would have been a very awful superficial life for Cordelia to live, just to say.
I agree.
After Wilson drives her home, Cordelia invites him inside despite Dennis the ghost, aka Phantom Dudas, living up to his name, doing everything possible to sabotage this evening. He's like, hell no, we ain't fixing to do this tonight. That's the first thing I put my notes. I was like, oh my god, it's so funny. Obviously it's played off like jealousy over Cordy bringing home another guy and shit. Yes. But because like I don't know how to really put this without like doing a spoiler, so I'm not going to say nothing too crazy, but part of it could be contextually like he's trying to protect Cordelia, but he has no way of knowing Wilson's a douchebag too. I'll maybe again call back to it in a certain way in the future and stuff, but obviously he's pissed off that she's brought some guy home. That's why he's still trying to sabotage. I was like, he's got a little crush on Cordelia even though he's dead.
See, what I thought initially was the jealousy thing until later we see Dennis do a very sweet gesture to Cordelia that shows it's like an act of care, and so
because I think he knows what's going on then in that situation,
right? But it also, for like a ghost or a spirit, so to speak, to invoke an action based on such an emotion, it struck me as like I instantly stopped seeing it as jealousy from earlier in the episode, and I was like, he's trying. That's like a safety thing, like he's trying to like put the red flags up that she can't see because maybe as a ghost he already knows like some sort of energetic way that this is bad news.
Yeah. He fucks with the lights. He turns the music she puts on and off or changes it to another thing and pretty much tries obviously to kill the romance. And eventually Cordelia threatens her invisible roommate in the other room and manages to restore some sense of normalcy.
All right, Dennis. Now get off! This is the one guy I've actually liked in a long time. And if you keep killing the mood, I'll kill you. All right, empty threat. You being a ghost and already dead and all. But I'll do something worse. I'll play Evita around the clock. The one with Madonna.
Who are you talking to?
My ghost. I have a ghost.
She jokes about having a ghost whenever Wilson catches her speaking to herself, and he makes his move, kicking off their night of romance, aka they fuck. And Phantom Dennis, I have to assume, possibly sat in the cuck chair in the corner and watched the. Because if I was a ghost, I would probably watch it. I mean, I ain't got nothing else going on. Like, talk about invasion some privacy. I'm so sorry if I would watch you guys. I'm not trying to sound like Dr. Meltzer over here, like creeping up in the room whenever you're changing and shit like that. But if I'm the ghost and I'm haunting your place, like, I'm sorry, you can't see me. I can see you. So.
I'm dead.
But honestly, based on Dennis that we've seen so far, I really don't actually believe he was watching. I think he left the room because one, he would have been too pissed off to see it, but then two, he's going to respect Cordelia's privacy because he clearly has some kind of care for her. Just like literally the three best guys in this episode are two great. Well, never mind. I can't say that. I was about to say two alive guys and one dead guy, but there's two dead guys and one alive guy because Wesley's the only one living.
That's true. Well, we can say a rogue demon hunter, a vampire, and a ghost.
I need the video of them three hooking up. Anyways, the next morning,
with ghost sex. Stop.
Hey, I'm into ghost sex. I think all sex matters. Yes.
I'm dead.
All right, great. The next morning, Cordelia wakes up like Buffy after sleeping with Angel for her first time alone. Wilson has gotten the fuck out of there. At first, she simply assumes Wilson left early, but when she struggles to get out of bed, she pulls back the blankets to discover that her stomach is swollen to the size of a woman nearly ready to give birth, aka like basically 9 months pregnant. She's at a full 39.8 days, and by 8 days, I mean it's 40 weeks. She looked 43 weeks
We're
pregnant.
like a minute away from full term.
Oh shit, it's fucking crazy. Completely horrified, she stared down at herself in disbelief. What were your thoughts whenever you like saw this moment? Just like the fact that this, obviously it's only been fucking what, 4 or 5 hours. They definitely probably got home after midnight, and it's probably like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. LA time, it's probably 6 a.m. because you know the sun comes up at 4 a.m. there. Like I could never.
It was terrifying to see the, like you're saying, the short span of time that we figure has gone by to how Cordelia looks. Now, obviously, that's humanly impossible, but that also leaves you feeling with the worst case scenario in mind. Just like if it's growing this fast in a matter of hours, like where are we going to be at tomorrow this time? You know, like, or in 6 hours even, or in 25 minutes.
Really ain't gonna be nowhere. These damn kids gonna be running around having their old like demonic. I don't know. Do they think those things grow up to look like what the Helix demon or whatever the thing's name? Like
that was awful.
So, they ain't gonna be out in public. They ain't gonna be in the supers. They talk about a face only a mother could love.
Well, their mother won't be alive to see them apparently, so it's literally that no one could love. And with their dad's eyes looking like that, I don't think he can see much.
Wesley about to punch him out anyway, so it don't matter.
I know, right?
He's talking about Mortal Kombat. Okay. This is not a video game, Wesley. Either way. Later that day, Angel and Wesley become concerned when Cordelia fails to show up for work and doesn't return any messages, and arrive at her apartment, breaking inside where they find Cordelia sitting motionless in bed in a calm shock. Fighting back tears, she tells them everything that happened with Wilson, how nothing about the evening seemed unusual. He was kind, normal, how they were safe. And by safe, I think she meant she felt safe with him and they were physically safe having sex. So I'm guessing Wilson popped fucking holes with a damn needle or some shit in the damn condom that he was supposedly using, or ripped that shit off, or who the fuck knows. Or maybe it's, I don't know. I don't want to know how this conception
I don't want to know either.
Angel promises they're going to figure out what's happened to her. When they try calling Wilson, there's no answer, and Angel assures her that she's not alone, yet she asks to be left alone for a bit, alluding to the fact that that's probably a common feeling to her. How the scene breaks my heart for her in this moment. Like her talking about, I'm ready to wake up now, I'm not waking up, and then crying about how she's being punished, like yet again. And Angel's face when she says, I haven't talked to anyone. Just the sympathy on his face for her, just like feel back. She's been sitting in bed. She hasn't done anything all morning, but literally stare off to the side and be like, what the fuck is happening to me right now? You know?
Yeah.
Like she's, and she's alone in the situation. And like I said, she's already used to being alone. She's feeling confused and defeated. Talk about feeling violated. Like even Wesley, who's been making cracks about Cordelia being irresponsible and shit, like he's now immediately sympathizing with her in the room and assuring her that everything's going to be okay too, because he flips his tune real quick. Just walking in, he's making more comments about her not being responsible. He's like, sounds just like the Cordelia we know then, like not showing up to work, not doing this, blah blah blah. Like, you know what I mean? But then he flips the script real quick and he like lets all that shit go, which I love seeing from Wesley in the display. And I have to admit, like I don't remember if I have in the past, but I actually started tearing up watching this scene, and I absolutely broke when Phantom Dennis floated the box of tissues over to Cordelia and hands her one.
That's
like,
what I was talking about.
I was like, no,
I'm like, come on.
I'm like, this baby. I was like, protect Phantom Dennis at all costs. I was like, no wonder he wanted to leave his crazy ass mom. That woman that he was supposed to get married to and leave town with and all that other shit, that she was gonna have the best man in the damn world. Ain't no
That's
Wilson
true.
written in his name. It ain't Wilson, it's Dennis.
So probably has like a normal last name instead of 2 first names as a last name, because that guy
Wilson Christopher.
I'm like,
or yeah, it was Wilson Christopher.
that's how you already
Wilson.
know it's bad news. If you got 2 names, if you got first names and one of those is your last name, that's a problem.
Dennis's last name is Pearson because his mom's name was Maud Pearson, so I'm assuming that was So you're right,
That-
not 2 first names. Never trust a guy with 2 first names. Everyone watched The Hills, and we all know about Justin Bobby and what he did to Audrey.
You're right. If you can say his name backwards or forwards and it makes sense somehow, as if it were a first and middle name and not a last name, then that's a problem.
I'm glad that's just my first and middle name, though. Brandon Alexander Brandon.
That's how it's supposed to be. That's my point. I'm like, if that
true.
were his first and middle name, then that would.
It does sound weird, Alexander Brandon. Like, no, that ain't nothing.
Right.
I do want to call out the fact that the practical effect was pretty cool too, because they had to like get a guy or green screen or do some kind of buoy thing to like float the box of tissues, and then it puffed out and Cordelia caught it, like, or Charisma caught it. I like the fact that they chose to do that. Obviously, she's not sitting in front of a green screen; it's like artificial, like that's a real box of tissues and stuff. So it was really cool how they did that. Angel attempts getting in contact with Wilson out in Cordy's living room, only to find every number is unreachable. He has no addresses or criminal records to go off of, and he is off the radar, essentially. They deduce that this is a I knew I was going to fuck this way. Parasitic demon. Angel, David Boreanaz messed the fucking lineup just like I did. They realize the mothers don't survive the birth, or if they do, they wish that they hadn't. And with time clearly working against them, Cordy being this far along already, birth may be imminent. So Angel and Wesley split up to get answers. Angel arrives at Lounge La Brea, where the bartender points him towards Serena, and Wesley takes Cordelia to a clinic for an examination while Angel begins searching for Wilson. It's the easiest way to like break down that scene, but I do have to comment on the bartender asking Angel, who's like, "Oh, are you the boyfriend?" And he goes, "No, I'm family." I was like, it hit me just like the tissues did. I was like, "Oh my god, it's such a great display." I was like, it's like, this is her older brother trying to go beat up the people that made her. Like, this is the kind of this is what you were speaking to earlier. These are the kind of guys you want in your corner when it comes to men in your life.
Yeah.
Literally.
They'll restore your faith. I'm done.
All right, great. I saw her head and face in my mind still when you said it. A great sight to see, no matter where. Also, this is just another message about treating people right. Just like the nurse that spilt the tea on Dr. Meltzer at the hospital in that episode, the bartender here gives Angel all the info, because Angel calls out. He's like, "Oh, I'm sure you're always getting irritated with these club attendees, or they treat you like shit." And he's like, "You know what? Actually, you're right. Let's go sit over here real quick. I'll make you a drink and we can talk." He's talking, "You like blood?" He's like, "You like vodka in your blood?" I don't know. It's just a message. Don't fuck with people, y'all.
Yeah, or at least make them be acknowledged
shit.
If you're going to try to utilize them or resource them for something,
I don't care how much money I got, and especially if I got money, I'm treating people, unless you are a shit server or bartender or whatever, and you're just like completely ignoring me and like not helping, and I'm being considerate about the whole situation. No, I'm gonna treat you so right and so respectfully, because one, I don't want spit, cum, or blood in my drink unless I'm a vampire. Like, all the things. No, don't fight with people, y'all. Today's message. And also, men suck. At the hospital, Cordelia is forced to endure increasingly uncomfortable questions from doctors who assume she is a normal, expectant mother. But before that, the whole scene in the fucking waiting room, that woman, I wanted to backhand her. Once again, coming in hot with me, talking about I want to hit women, like I did in a Hush episode. It's for a reason, and it's just as a joke. But like, whenever that woman goes to touch Cordelia, she's like, talks about, "Shut up, don't touch me." Like, I'm sure every pregnant woman ever that's listening to this can feel that that's so relatable as a statement, because yes. Everyone wants to come up thinking that they can speaking to autonomy and fucking agency, like just treating you like you're this commodity because you're pregnant. I can put my hands on your belly, or ask to feel, not even ask to feel your baby, just do the such thing. Like, I've done told you plenty of times about people trying to put their hands up in my hair. So I'm like, "Oh, I love your curls." Like, okay, well then don't put your hands in them, because do you know what happens when you put your fingers in curly hair? Frizz. The fuck? I didn't spend all this time doing this for you to touch me. Also, don't touch me. Like, no.
I know. I hate that people have normalized touching people in general, like especially
without consent,
ones that you don't know. And that's why I loved COVID era, because you had to stay 6 feet the fuck away from me, and that is the life I want to live at all times in life.
For real, I'm about to literally like make another airborne virus of COVID and send it out into the world so people leave me the fuck alone.
I'm about to just tell everybody I got lifelong COVID. It's a terminal.
Literally, and every month we need to get them stimmy checks. So we can, because you know what I did with my stimulus check when I got it? I didn't pay my rent because all my clients had done my shit. I ordered all my candle science stuff, and I was sitting at home making candles during fucking quarantine and opening a damn candle business and an apothecary. Like, You too. Like, the fuck?
Same.
What? Bye.
So funny.
I will gladly sit home and eat food all day, smoke weed, play video games, and make candles and jack
and get
off.
paid.
Like,
And make y'all stay 6 feet the fuck away from me.
don't come knocking at my door.
Don't come near me, bro.
Anyways, like, just to say, for an important message, shut up and don't touch me is like literally my life motto. So
that's all they're saying these days.
Wesley does his best to play the role of a concerned husband while Cordelia struggles to process what is happening to her body. During the ultrasound, the situation becomes far stranger, and the doctor initially believes Cordelia is carrying twins, but he finds a third heartbeat and then a fourth, and I was like, oh my god, what the fuck? Stopping eventually at a sixth, but alludes to the fact that there's even more. Alarmed, he orders additional testing as Cordelia grows nervous of what is wrong. The fact that Wesley has told them that their last name is Pingborn, because this doctor calls her Mrs. Pingborn. Wesley, Mrs. Pingborn? Is this an English name? Is Pingborn a surname somewhere? Because, sir, it does not need to be a name anywhere.
I didn't know where that came from. I was like, what is Wesley's last name? Is this
Price?
Oh,
but
yeah.
he didn't want to give his real name because of the situation, knowing clearly it's supernatural. He didn't want it to be tracked back to them. But I'm like,
Yes.
Wesley, these are the names that you can come up with.
So
Pingborn? Okay. Following his lead, Angel arrives at Serena's apartment and discovers that she is just as pregnant as Cordelia. And not only that, this bitch is downing heavy bottles of alcohol in hopeful attempts to hurt the baby. Everyone's
she's
screaming.
smart.
I mean, for this situation, I'm just like... I was
You didn't think, like, I guess it's beyond the place of taking a plan B, even though technically speaking, that's what you should be able to do the next day. Because you wouldn't be 8.5 months pregnant, you'd be 8.5 hours pregnant.
Listen, could they have not went to the store and just bought like 6 packages like that bitch was taking like handfuls on damn Walking Dead in the second season? I can't remember her damn name, but the bitch that everyone fucking is saying, Rick's damn wife, she's pregnant with one of these 2 guys' babies, and she's over here taking a handful of fucking she ends up taking the
you'll
prenatals,
die.
like Plan B. Exactly, but she's trying to make that baby die, but then she goes and throws them up, and I'm like, girl, it only takes like 1 or 2, I think, on the pack. I don't think you have to.
I don't think
you
need
to
take the whole thing. Like,
I think she was trying to do it because they were expired. Like, so she's like, at least one of these got to work. But I'm like, wouldn't you have headed to a fucking Walgreens or CVS or something to go ahead and buy that Plan B to see if that would take care of the demonic entity? Does Plan B work against that?
I don't know. Would you also not maybe just have started with 1 and seen what happens? Because, there's tomorrow.
Well, at least it's 2000 right now in the year that this is occurring. So at least Roe versus Wade hasn't been overturned and people can still get abortions and do what they want with their bodies. So Cordelia could have just been like, I actually would like to sign up for the abortion. They'd be like, man, it's far too late for that. And be like, trust me, it's not.
In fact, this happened last night, and that's why we need to do this.
They're like, Mr. Pingborn, could you please talk some sense into your wife?
It'd be funny if he's like, no, I was there.
No, Wesley's over there standing at the corner. They're like, Mr. Pingborn. He's like, oh, me. Yes, Mr. Pingborn. This is the ways we make this awful episode funny.
Oh, God.
Talking about baby murder, like Serena over here.
It's only justified in this case. They're not real babies.
Back at the clinic, the doctor's attempt to collect amniotic fluid only creates even more panic, and the sample begins eating through the syringe and then burns straight to the fucking floor itself. Like, that shit was wild.
What
I'm like,
in the world?
That ain't amniotic fluid. That's fucking acid. The doctor and the nurse flee the room because they don't know what the fuck to do with the situation, and Wesley is taken aback by all things wrong with this situation, while Cordelia desperately asks him what he saw on the ultrasound. For the hottest minute, he's just staring at the damn floor, because it eats through the literal floor. This is what's giving kind of Alien, because that's what happens with the ship when they try to cut a piece of the face clinger, or face hugger is actually what they're called. They kind of try to cut it and they notice it's like disintegrating metal, and it's actually going through the ship and it starts damaging shit because it's going through. I'm like, this is giving the same stuff. He's more concerned, though, with finding Angel than answering her questions, and Wesley avoids giving details. Cordelia, however, remains focused on one thing. Whatever is inside of her, she just wants to know, and pleasantly asks Wesley, do they look healthy? And this is the point where we're like, oh my God, now this weird shit's like taking over her as some weird, like, I don't know, control factor within
like
this.
Like it's
like something. I'm just like, oh my God, no. I did not expect. The first time I watched this, I was like, oh no. Like Phoebe in my head. Oh no. I should put her clip in here.
Oh no. Oh
But I'm like, no, this is not how it's supposed to be, Cordelia. I figured she would just be like, how many were there? Like, what does it look like? Is it like worms?
Yes, like be within some space of reasoning and logic.
Shit, no. Back with Serena, Angel tells her that Cordelia is in the same situation, and she reveals that Wilson and his friends specifically seem to be interested in women with few family ties and limited support systems. Also, how their money seemed to really smell. I'm like, smell like what? Because money doesn't already smell all that great because it's been all over people's hands, and I haven't had a chance to hand sanitize it yet. But because then it would smell like my Bath and Body Works, like White Sage or Sea or whatever the fuck I'm using that week. I'm like, what does it smell like? And like, is it because it's tainted money? It has like, I want to know what the smell smelled like. I don't want to smell it. I just want to know, Wesley.
I think it's the smell that Wesley's like referencing at the end when they're like in the little pool thing.
I don't even know.
That's the remember he like puts his
maybe.
Yeah, so I think it has like something to do with the demon specifically, which is why I was like, I don't know.
It came from that area. Maybe the demon gave it because the demon's obviously got a bank down there and is handing them out cash like the size of their money to use, but yet he's fucking 70 feet tall.
Yeah.
He's over here like pinching it together with his little nails and like dropping them stacks and shit, like getting little baggies for them. I don't know. It's probably because it's enchanted in some way, shape, or form, but you're right. But also, again, to Wesley, he's over there talking like, ooh, this is putrid. And I'm like, well, then why are you hovering over the pool taking big whiffs?
Well, you know why? Because the same reason Wesley. He stuck his fingers up to his nose.
I'm done with Wesley. She admits that she has always suspected something wasn't quite right about them. Also, with this town, calling out that people are fake and things are quote weird, and I was like, oh, she's not from Sunnydale. She knows, like she's like calling out that there's things out there that like are unexplainable, and how she ignored the warning signs. Before she can tell Angel much more, she doubles over in pain. Returning to Angel's apartment, Cordy is clearly having the same contractual pain Serena seems to be having. As Wesley tries to make her comfy in Angel's bed, she calls him out on his fear and sensing something horrible is wrong with her, and not in an understanding way, in a threatened, maternal, instinctual sort of way. She begins speaking about the babies as though she can hear them communicating with her, confirming that there actually are 7 of his children growing inside of her. And I was like, she is not talking about Wilson anymore. Wesley tries reassuring her that he hasn't formed a theory, while secretly growing more concerned, because you see that play all over his face. It's like, oh my god, I literally can't tell her anything. She is sensing my distress right now. I need to figure out how to read this. And thankfully he doubles back on that really quick and like is able to kind of deter her. He doesn't confuse her for very long, but he doesn't get smacked the fuck down right now, because you gotta say something negative about this baby and Cordy's about to beat the fuck out of you. Like, I'm just gonna tell you, she's gonna be picking up anything inside and knock you over the head with it. Better watch out, because watchers like to get knocked unconscious, Wesley. We know this. Cordelia insists that whatever is growing inside her may not be human, but that doesn't necessarily make them evil. And this is a little bit, I think, of like Cordelia still in here, because obviously she's rationalizing and comparing them to like Doyle, who wasn't fully human, and also Angel not being human, but they're still good. So there's like this weird 50-50 thing happening. She's not just like fully under that spell. She's like, whenever Nikki in Obsession was kind of whipping back and forth between Shadow Nikki and regular Nikki, I'm like, oh. Angel returns with new information that Serena's condition confirms that Cordelia is not the only victim. Reviewing the ultrasound results, Angel and Wesley realize someone may be creating an entire army of demon offspring. Their investigation points toward a private gun club frequented by Wilson and his wealthy friends. While Angel heads off to confront them, Wesley stays behind, trying to identify exactly what species they're dealing with and what to do if they are born. But before either of them leave, they catch a glimpse of Cordelia out of bed, standing at Angel's refrigerator like all of us at 3 a.m. sneaking a little snack. Only her snack is unsettling in the form of her chugging Angel's container of fresh blood, and Angel is realizing just how disgusting this appears, while also cluing them into how deeply this pregnancy is affecting Cordelia. Why did you choose, of all things, for me? Like, you don't message me often when you're watching an episode, but you sent me the screenshot of Cordelia standing in there chugging the blood. Why? Did you just get taken out? You're like, I gotta tell Brian I'm watching this shit right now. Like, what?
Listen, believe it or not, my phone screen blacked out while I was like in the middle of taking my notes, because I had typed my notes up on my phone while I'm watching the show on my laptop usually. And my phone screen blacked out, and then when I swiped up, I guess I accidentally like swiped to the side and it opened up my camera, and I didn't even realize it. So I'm just sitting there like waiting through the episode thinking I just swiped my phone up and my notes are open, and then that part happens, and then I go to type something about it, and instead I put my phone up right at that moment and I just clicked it, and it was like the perfect shot. I didn't have to try it twice. I didn't have to pause it or anything. It just like froze on that thing, and I got like the blood leaving her chin and like dripping down off of her and everything. And I was just like, I was literally about to just delete it, but then I was like, no, I'm about to just send it to Brandon and say nothing.
It was funny too, because obviously this was like a couple hours before we came in here to record that you were watching it, and you were all telling me the other day when I was hanging out with you that you were gonna watch it like the next day and stuff. I was like, you ain't watched that episode yet? And then I quoted Angel's like disgusting comment, and you're like, my brain works best when it's fresh in my head. And I was driving, so I didn't reply, but I was about to be like, that fresh blood that Cordelia was chugging right now or some shit. I was gonna say something like, that's how your brain functions. Like the blood really generates throughout your brain whenever you're watching it. Fresh, like fresh. Yeah. Eat fresh, Subway. Remember? Yep. Yes. Season 3 callback from Buffy. Okay. Gross ass fucking scene, but also interesting. I also kind of want to call out too that we've called Buffy like on the show the couple times that she's worn overalls is when she's a little bit helpless or in distress, like back in Becoming. At the end of Becoming, she's leaving town after like going through mourning period, and then in Helpless she's wearing that, and Cordelia is wearing some overalls in this too. We ain't never seen Cordelia know them damn overalls is not hers, and that would not be in her closet, so I don't know where she got these from, but I guess she needed them because her belly was so big she couldn't fit anything else, so she needed to go get some damn jumper fucking shit stuff to be able to just pull over her body out. I'm just like ugh. But like, how gross. Just to say one more thing about this, like the fact that she's like, I'm thirsty or I'm hungry, and she's choosing to go drink that blood. That one lets you know that them demon things are like completely different. But I'm like, can't we make this bitch a bagel? Like, where's Angel coming in with them eggs and toasty he was making her in the other episode?
I love that he acknowledges it as an afterthought, because he's like, can you just like order her some food or something?
Like, Chinese delivery is all day in Los Angeles. She's like, I don't want that. She's like, but I will take some crab rangoons. She's talking about, I already got the red sauce to dip him in. She's talking about, I'll take the sweet and sour chicken, hold the sauce because I got it.
She said, I'll take the tortellini and the red sauce.
She's talking about, just make me some meat and spaghetti and I already got the sauce. Anything red, she's got it if it's a sauce. At the gun club, Angel confronts Wilson and demands answers. Wilson admits nothing, forcing Angel to beat the information out of him. Hell fucking yes. Angel connects that Wilson is human and the fact that Wilson and his friends are merely intermediaries. Speaking of friends, while Angel is beating the crap out of Wilson, they step in, and cocky-ass Wilson thinks Angel's about to get beat down by all of them, voicing to Angel, oh, you have no idea what you're dealing with. And I'm like...
Yeah, okay, joke's on you, my friend.
You just wait a couple seconds. Back at the apartment, Wesley finally identifies the creature responsible and tells Cordy now that they've identified it, they can stop what's happening to her. When Cordelia takes in this information, she reacts violently, though. Convinced Wesley intends to harm her babies, she knocks him unconscious with one of Angel's books and leaves to join the other pregnant women already under the demon's influence. That shit killed me, because I'm like, Wesley, you should have just shut the fuck up. You said the wrong thing here. You should have just kept her in the dark the rest of this moment, because she probably would have sat right the fuck here. Mm-hmm. But also, I think she knocked him out like because of what he said, and she had to get out of there. Otherwise, she would have been trying to stop her from leaving anyways, because it was kind of like an automatic thing that she's just getting drawn towards that area.
That's true, yeah.
Back with Angel, he has figured out the men basically do a similar thing that the frat guys, like I said, over in season 2 did, exchange women for their life of luxury and using their wealth and influence to lure women into becoming unwilling hosts for the demon. When the group decides to eliminate Angel, they discover bullets aren't enough to stop him. Firing multiple shots into him, Angel falls over, and these cocky dickheads feel accomplished for only a moment until Angel reveals his vampire face and systematically takes apart every man in the room effortlessly before finally forcing Wilson to reveal where the true father can be found. I was literally whooping, hollering, clapping. Like, I was over here holding up a sign that said, "Go Angel," like all the things when I watched this scene, because I forgot that he beat down them like this, but I was like, oh, this is so started. I'm happy that they gave us this little cut break back to Wesley and Cordelia for a second before Angel just started kicking ass, because whenever, like I said, they left off talking about, you have no idea what you're dealing with. I'm like, well, y'all have no idea what y'all are dealing with. The fuck? They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna fire 6 shots into your damn belly. I'm like, okay, well, Detective 𝐤𝐸, if she was around, she'd be like, that ain't gonna work. She even knows now. Like, y'all learned it. Hey, beat the fuck out of him. Like, I'll talk about it later because we got some final slays. Wilson eventually tells them where they can find the demon. At an industrial bando site, aka Freddy Krueger's lair, someplace that Courtney would definitely explore. Yes. Cordelia and the other women are seen arriving and grouping up together as we hear voice like sonic noises speaking to them, controlling them. There's eerie little sounds too. Angel calls with the final pieces of the puzzle, and Wesley awakens from his Giles-like knockout in his apartment to answer and speak with him. Comparing notes, Wesley tells Angel of his research and finding the creature to be a Haxel demon. What was I saying? A helix demon? Like it's a damn piercing in your ear. Haxel demon. Angel tells him of the psychic link that the demon has with the women and where the location of the men's shrine was, aka where the demon will be. And the two realize the women are all being drawn toward the demon's nesting site at the bando. And more importantly, Wesley discovers that the unborn creatures are sustained through a psychic connection to their father. If that connection can be broken, the pregnancies can be ended without harming the women themselves. Oh, just the one tiny problem, though.
What's that? Well, I don't wish to use the words impossible to kill, but fire won't kill it. Decapitation won't. It's really huge.
But Angel's not bothered by this and questions if Wesley can shoot straight. He's like, I beg your pardon. God, it makes sense in a minute, but I'm like, the fuck? Back at the bando birthing site. And the amount of times I'm saying bando in this episode is killing me. The 6 women have dressed each other in white robe-like gowns and are descending into a dirty basin pool like fucking vat. This thing's like glowing green and shit. I'm just like, no. They're like, we're gonna have these babies in this dirty water because that's what these little demons would love. They're like, they're gonna come out and get infections immediately. They'll love it. Wesley arrives and tries reasoning with Cordelia, well, kind of all of them, to get out the pool this instance, but they refuse to leave. Like, he's like, I demand you get out there this instance, all of you. They ain't listening to you. Before he can do anything else, the enormous Haxel beast emerges from its underground lair, asking who the fuck is up in here uninvited, disturbing the birth of his children. More importantly, he's like, who dares be here, blah blah blah. And I'm like, the fuck? But it's so comical because whenever he's coming out, you hear boom, 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 like from its feet hitting the damn ground. I'm like, way to emphasize that this thing's large and in charge. But I'm like, no one else underground hears this damn demon walking around in its daytime. What does his lair look like? Is he back there watching TV on something? Like, I need to know what he's doing back there. Like, what is happening? Also, how does he enchant these men to get his semen inside these men, or is he fucking these men first and like? That's, you know, a man wouldn't sure tell, but you know, all these men on Grindr, aka Haxel Grinder, and they fucking this guy so they can be bred with his fucking seed, so that way then they can breed the bitches with their seed. I'm calling them bitches because that's what they would call them, not to demise on women, like, or like say awful things about them, but so that way they can then put their seed in these women. Like, obviously it's a magical enchantment and stuff like that, but that's what I'm thinking, because, you know, men are gross, men are nasty, half the time they gay. So
no, that's exactly what I thought. I'm like, oh, look at this, a typical scenario where not only do you get paid for doing something diabolical, but you can get your closeted gay out for a night and let this dude like do whatever, or you're doing whatever. Who knows which way it works? Maybe it's got to go both ways, and then you get to keep that secret forever because no one can understand his language, and the other guys you're in an orgy with are doing the same thing, aren't going to tell anyone. So it's a brotherhood now.
And I'm gonna just say, it's always the straight guys, like married to women and stuff, that are always the bottoms.
Yes,
like
look at Lindsay.
They ain't out here. they ain't out here fucking men and being a top. They're always a bottom, clearly. And you know they want that BB or like, well, BH, that big Haxel cock. Like, you know that thing is huge. So they're over here at like size queens over here for this fucking damn 45-foot damn dick. Like, y'all nasty ass men. I'm gonna move on from this because I feel disgusting though. Faced with a monster many times his size, Wesley attempts to stall for time by introducing himself and challenging it to a battle while nervously making conversation with it. Haxel prepares to kill him, but Angel arrives just in time, rolling a massive tank of liquid nitrogen toward the creature. The Haxel catches it, only for Wesley to shoot a hole through the container. The escaping nitrogen freezes the demon solid within seconds, and the psychic connection is beginning to become severed with the women, and every pregnant woman begins screaming in pain as the offspring suddenly leave their bodies. Climbing from the wet vat, a newly restored Cordelia grabs a heavy counterweight chain and swings it directly into the frozen demon, shattering it into pieces and noting that she really hates dating. Typical. Cool
Valid.
little slay on the demon, though. I will say, like, Angel being that smart, like, go get a fucking nitrogen tank, like, because I don't know, like, he said a good shot, but like, what exactly were they going to do after they freeze it? Was it just going to be like they're frozen? Would this
I
demon
know,
fall
no,
out eventually? Were they planning to smash it with something else? Because clearly Cordelia had the chain, but they didn't know that chain was going to be there. They had never been in this place before in their lives, so they had no idea what the setup was
that's
like.
true, yeah. I mean, I would
Yeah.
imagine they would have done the same kind of thing eventually, because like I would have been too scared of that bitch thawing out and doing this shit all over again.
I would have showed up like Buffy in season 2 with a damn rocket launcher and froze it and then shot the rocket launcher at it to get its million pieces, like something. I don't know. A couple of days later, life has largely returned to normal. Angel and Wesley fuss over the office while waiting for Cordelia to return. So cute, too, how they're doing it. They're kind of like dickering with each other about like, no, she likes it this way. And Wesley's like arguing everything Angel's trying to say. When she finally walks through the door, she appears completely recovered and she jokes about the experience, teases the guys, and shares news about a promising audition and an upcoming dinner date. Angel and Wesley exchange nervous looks at the mention of another man, but Cordelia quickly assures them that she's fine. He just wants to impregnate her with his demon master seed, and she gets the part. Cordelia would probably take it. Like, she just went through this and she's like, well, if I'm getting my stardom that I've been looking for, I got you. JK, but really. She is fine. She goes on to speak about how she's stronger than those loser men thought. Angel agrees that he's learned that about her. She voices that she's learned some things too. She's learned men are evil. Wait, no, she knew that. She's learned that LA is full of self-serving phonies. Nope, no, she knew that one too. So that just leaves sex is bad. But we all knew that already, and we've talked about it a lot this episode, or at least the Buffyverse tries to beat that into your fucking head. Mm-hmm. Cordy arrives on the most important part of what she learned, though, that she has two people that she trusts completely with her life, aka Angel and Wesley, and that part's new. The comment leaves both Angel and Wesley visibly touched, one more so than the other, as Wesley pretends he's only wiping his ass because he's got like a twig or a tree branch or some allergies. And the other two smile. We fade to black, and here endeth the episode. That's the first thing I thought it was Easy A when she's like, I just have like a twig or like a branch on my At least Wesley said it was allergies. Like, it's so funny. He turns his head and he's like, nothing's wrong. I'm like, just let you know he's a sap. He's like, oh, I'm like, Wesley. So cute. Like, that's the best part. Like I said, the group dynamic is the best part of this episode. That's the only part worth seeing. You take out everything else and just put the situation of them all hanging out and connecting and getting to know each other better and like get through another struggle together and come just more as a unit, unified. Like, it's just, that's what we want to see.
That is what we want to see.
But what we want to see is us get out of here because we went past the 32-minute mark that I thought we were going to be at, and now we just got to do themes and metaphor. So, which will be fun because, like I said, we got some things to talk about, sort of, or more to listen to. Expecting is an episode about vulnerability, trust, bodily autonomy, and the dangers hidden beneath the promises people sell in Los Angeles, or just in general in life. Cordelia spends much of season 1 chasing the life she imagined for herself, aka the feeling that she belongs in the city of opportunity. Wilson appears to represent exactly that dream. He's that handsome, successful, attentive, and for once seemingly genuine guy interested in who Cordelia is rather than what she can do for him. The episode twists the fantasy into a horror story, and Cordelia's overnight pregnancy becomes an exaggerated metaphor for what happens when consent is obtained through deception. Every woman in the episode willingly enters an intimate relationship believing she knows the person that she's with, but none of them consent to becoming host for a demon offspring. Their bodies are altered, invaded, and ultimately treated as incubators for someone else's future. And the horror isn't the pregnancy itself, it's the complete loss of agency over their own bodies. By disguising violation as romance, the episode explores how manipulation can strip away meaningful consent, turning intimacy into exploitation. The men behind the scheme view women as resources rather than people, deliberately targeting those with few family ties or support systems because they believe no one will notice if they disappear. Their worth is measured only by what their bodies can produce. In that sense, the demon pregnancy functions as a dark allegory for exploitation, reflecting systems where powerful people see others as tools to fulfill their own ambitions while ignoring the human cost. So fucking accurate. The episode also continues Cordelia's journey following Doyle's death. Much like parting gifts, she finds herself carrying something that she's never asked for. First, it was Doyle's visions, and now it's a literal burden growing inside of her. Both stories force Cordelia into situations she did not choose, yet in both cases, she refuses to surrender her sense of self. Even when her autonomy is threatened, she continues fighting for it. Perhaps the most important element of the episode is what this reveals about Cordelia's place within Angel investigations. By the end, the lesson isn't that dating is dangerous or that Los Angeles is full of monsters, as Cordelia already knew both of those things. The real discovery is that she isn't alone anymore. For someone who spent much of her life relying only on herself, realizing that she has two people she trusts completely may be the most meaningful development of all, aka what we've all talked about the whole episode. So, and as a great thing for this episode, but not for so much the listeners, we have no Angel fun facts because none were worth mentioning for this episode, along with the episode. So let's get into the final slays.
Final slays.
Final slays, men are trash.
Simple.
Except me.
True.
You guys know the ones in your life that aren't trash. What quotes you got for this episode, mate? This will be interesting.
Actually, I kept it short this time.
She goes, they're all from Wilson.
Yes, my favorite. Well, one of them was actually the one that you misunderstood the line where Wesley's talking about Cordelia's friends. What about the fact that they thought we were gay? And Angel said, it adds mystery.
I still can't believe I misheard that.
And then what'd you say her other friend's name is? Emily? I didn't even catch her name.
Serena and Emily.
Yeah, so when Emily says, your boss could give me the 3rd degree anytime.
Girl, she wanted that Angel dick hard. I get it.
She was so thirsty. And then my last one that I wrote down was Cordy talking about, what do I tell him? I had a really great time. I think you left something at my place.
Oh, that was also so fucking devastating too to hear her say, because you know women use that line.
I'm like, oh my god. Well, but also because she's like being sarcastic on the extremes by saying like you left something like, at my place, aka
you need to tell me. I need to tell you. Clearly you know.
Yeah. What are your quotes?
I
Yours
have
are
4. I actually kind of do have a quote that involves Wilson. Okay. My first one though was Angel when he's like, wouldn't have wanted to come up against that demon when it had all grown up, at the one that they were fighting at the cold open, and gotten its driver's license. I was like, what? I was like, first that grounded comment that he made in Somnambulist to Penn. I was like, and now this. I was like, okay, writers, and also okay, Angel. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
He's turning into a dad.
Literally though. Cordelia when she's empty threatening Phantom Dennis, and she's like, you better stop doing this or I'll kill you. And then she's like, doubles back and she goes, okay, I get it. Those are empty threats. Like, I thought that was funny. Wilson, whenever he's like, this is a gun club. You don't sneak up on people in here. That's how they get hurt. And just the air of the way he said it was annoying. And he's being all cocky. And when Angel responds about Cordelia and says that he will kick his ass if he doesn't talk to him, and Wilson replies back, oh, you're Cordy's boss. She told me about you. And Angel just goes, somehow I doubt that, as he slings him into the fucking pillar. And I was like, oh, about to find out today. Like, or find out today. I was like, AKA my Slade moment when we get to it, basically. Like, wow. And then my final one was Wesley, whenever he's like, Wesley Wyndham Price, rogue demon hunter, and I'm here to fight you, sir, to the death, preferably yours. Like, and then he goes on, he's like, I like to find out things about my opponents, like, what are your hobbies? I'm just like, it's just like so funny. I'm just like, Wesley, you're like literally like nowhere near the size. You're like this guy's finger size. You're not about to do shit. But he was a distraction. I was like, was it because Angel was a lug in this damn big ass nitrogen tank that he couldn't like? She's like, buy me time. Where did Angel get this tank? Did he go rob a dentist office or like what? I don't know. Like, where did he get this?
If they got that much nitrogen at a dentist's office, I'm concerned for life.
Angel knows a guy who knows a guy. They got it down at the doctor.
It's their dentist, actually. That makes more sense.
Dr. Folger, yeah.
That's actually the nitrogen it takes to put a vampire down for a cleaning or a dental procedure. He used the whole tank.
Damn.
That's the deal he made. He went to his dentist. He's like, hey, if I stay awake during my next procedure, can you give me the tank you would have used on me? Because I got to throw it at this dude.
Literally. If you still want like us paying rent in the building, you need to like let us go because we're about to lose a team member. So I got to take this nitrogen. All right. Who's your champion this episode?
Wesley and Angel. But then I also included Cordelia. It's like
Mine
hard
was
not to.
Mine was Angel Investigations as well, because
Yeah.
they all had like first, second, and third place. Angel obviously for number one for obvious reasons. Wesley for being a good shot is in second place, and then I put Cordelia in third, obviously for destroying the demon overall. So it was a team effort, so they all get it. Technically, Cordelia should be champion number one for just dealing and going through this whole entire day.
That's true.
Which brings us to Weekly Wiggins. Too many to name. Like I said, okay, other than the autonomy and treatment of women, that one guy saying specifically, and I don't know what his name was, but he's like, mostly I just do it for the sex. I'm like,
ugh.
And then obviously
like let's
Wesley
be more
sniffing,
original.
he doesn't know how to be. And then I like as a joke wrote down Wesley sniffing that demon goop, because I had to put stuff like I was like, I can't have a 4-paragraph essay on Weekly Wiggins. So like,
no, I have 3 Weekly Wiggins. The first, they kind of go in order. The first one is Wesley walking around with demon guts all over him, and then Cordelia's amniotic fluid melting the floor, and then the last one is Cordelia's blood mustache.
There's a whole full blood goatee. She's talking about wiping her mouth. She just like smacks her lips. She's like, she just like, like on the old commercials when you like pop a Coke or something, you go after you take a sip. Like that's what she did.
Yeah, gross.
All right, great. What's slayed for you?
Well, there was a couple of these for me, honestly.
Oh, okay.
So the first one is Angel covering for Cordelia while on the floor having a vision saying, yeah, Cordelia, grab that file.
Oh, I forgot that he even said that. That makes sense.
That's so funny. But also good looking out. And then him not telling Cordelia that the guy, that Wilson's number was disconnected when he could have, and I think that would have just added insult to injury given.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last one is Dennis bringing Cordy some Kleenex. That was all Slade.
That is a cute one. I like thought back to that and I was like, that has to be it too. But honestly, like that's a champion moment too. So honestly, Dennis should be in there for like the
You're
team
right.
for like taking care of.
That's everyone in the episode except for the people that were fucking around.
As I mentioned in my quotes, like Angel fucking up Wilson and his buddies, especially kicking Wilson through the glass at the very end, like before he got his answers. I was like, that's what slayed to me. And then also him calling Cordelia family was just like a Slade moment because I didn't expect that and I had forgotten it.
Yeah.
Just like I want to forget next episode, Slayer predictions. The next episode, simple title is She.
Oh, well, you already know you're going to have to give me breadcrumbs because, I mean...
I don't have any for you because it's my least favorite episode of Angel ever, mostly because I've always found it boring and I typically always kind of skip it, or I think I've seen it. I just like when we were talking about Sense and Sensitivity, I couldn't really remember what goes down in the episode. I kind of know a little bit of the concept of this episode, but I couldn't even begin to give you maybe I'll look up a picture for both of us.
Yeah, give me a picture reference. I mean, the title leads me to assume it's Cordelia centric, but we kind of just came off of that, and then it
deals with another character. There is a really funny scene in it, though. I'm gonna say now that I'm looking at images because I have seen it like once or twice, but I couldn't tell you or even begin to tell you what the fuck's going down on it. You are going to die though when you see this scene. It's gonna be so funny. But the episode is serious in tone. It's not funny, just to say. There's not really many pictures to go off, which I'm kind of having a flashback when I made the thumbnail.
What's her face? The cop?
No. I don't even know if she's in. I don't even know if Kate's in it.
Kate. Why do I always forget her name?
All right, I'm coming in hot with the pick. It's of Angel and the girl that's featured in the episode.
Oh my god, that gives me no context whatsoever. What's wrong with her eye?
She has a tattoo over it.
Oh, okay. Yep, no idea.
Yeah, I can't really remember exactly what goes on to it. There are these demons that are in it too, and one of them has Cordelia, and he's got like some weird kind of like indentation on his face.
Okay, so they all have like branded faces somehow, which is weird.
Yeah, I really can't remember the concept of this episode, so
I don't even know where to go. It's just some weird people with some stuff on their face.
I'm hoping, because I know I've listened to like the coverage of it from other episodes. I feel like I did. I know I definitely listened to Prophecy Girl's version of it, but I really don't remember much about this episode. So it'd be interesting to watch it. And like I was about to say initially, like with a first perspective, and actually watching it for the podcast to analyze it, it might turn out to be better than I thought this whole time. So I guess we'll see, essentially, is where we're going to leave that at. So we're both in the same boat, essentially, here, mate, because
Okay.
I could not tell you anything like I could tell you about any other episode of Angel except this one. This
At
is
least
the
I'm
one
not
out of
alone.
all 110 that I'm just like, huh? So whatever.
Right.
That pretty much concludes our coverage of Expecting. Thank fucking God. Let us know what you all thought of this one. Did you feel as awful for these women as we did? Were you just as disturbed by the complete loss of bodily autonomy and consent? To our female listeners, how do you think you would have reacted if you found yourself in a situation like this? And what did you think of Team Angel showing up for Cordelia? After everything that she's been through, it really feels like she's beginning to realize that she has some people that genuinely care about her and will always have her back. So that's important. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so be sure to reach out and join the conversation. Next week, we're heading back to Buffy, and I'm not convinced things are getting any better over there in Sunnydale either. So we've got a great stretch of episodes coming up, which I'm pretty excited about, pretty much for a little handful of time. And in general, because the rest of the season's pretty much kicking off after this episode. It's a spoil and breadcrumb Courtney some more. But I can't wait to get them and hear everybody's thoughts and hear Courtney's as well. Or have everyone hear our thoughts, I guess is more so what I meant to say. So until then, you guys stay safe and maybe keep an eye out for any suspiciously charming men or, men in general. Catch you next time otherwise.
Oh, God.
Yeah, whatever.
I appreciate all the concern, but I'm okay. I mean, it was an ordeal, but I got through it. And I'm a lot stronger than those loser demon surrogates thought.
I'm starting to learn that.
I learned something too. I learned, men are evil. Oh wait, I knew that. I learned that LA is full of self-serving phonies. Nope, had that one down too. Sex is bound?
We all knew that.
Okay, I learned that I have two people I trust absolutely with my life. And that part's new.
Some allergies.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Angel on Revamped. Be sure to join us next week for a new episode release as we continue the fight for redemption. We would love to hear from you, so share your thoughts and perspectives on this or previous week's episodes by following us on Instagram and sending us a DM at revamped_rewatch podcast or by emailing us at revampedrewatchpod@gmail.com.
And if you're interested in A World Left Behind, check out my show, Echoes of Elsewhere, an urban exploration podcast where I uncover the hidden mysteries of forgotten places, interview other explorers, and share with you my tips and tricks of the trade. Subscribe and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Until next time, remember, if nothing we do matters,
Then all that matters is what we do.
This podcast is dedicated to the Buffyverse, to its fans, and my sister, Tiffany Dawn Pearson.